think this is a perfect opportunity to swing on over to a franchise that has even more hope right now, and one that has so much anticipation, so much excitement as it builds up towards production starting, I believe, in January is what we heard. We have Superman Legacy news, and I've been waiting to talk about this with you for quite some time, Ricky Flex. A lot of names in the mix for Superman Legacy, whether it be for Lex Luthor, whether it be for Clark Kent in Superman, or whether it be for Lois Lane, excuse me. Here are some names, Ricky Flex, and then we'll dive deeper. So these are some names that are in the mix to be in James Gunn's written and directed intro film for Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters for DC. We have someone at the top of the leaderboard here, right? Vegas odds are in his favor. David Cornsweet for the Man of Steel. We also have Tom Brittney, Andrew Richardson. We also have Nicholas Hoult, one of the more familiar names on this list, and it's being reported that he is up for Superman after first being appeared to be circling the Lex Luthor role, or at least James Gunn had him circling the Lex Luthor role. Emma Mackey, Phoebe Denavor, hopefully it's correct pronunciation, excuse me if that's wrong, Samara Weaving, and Rachel Brosnahan, all circling Lois Lane. Ricky Flex, looking at those names, obviously, there's only like one real wow that sticks out type of name, and that's also in the Dr. O fan club, Nicholas Hoult. I love Nicholas Hoult. I think he can play either a hero type or a villainous type. I think he's a very versatile actor. He was in Renfield most recently, but you might have saw him in The Menu. I thought he was great in The Menu. Those Who Wish Me Dead, people forget about that villainous role. He has superhero experience with him as Beast in like basically X-Men First Class, Days of Futures Past, Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix. Oh my God, forgot they had that many movies with the new crew. I love him as Lex Luthor, though. I don't think he should be up for Superman. I think it's kind of like telling that this guy is up for Lex Luthor or Superman, but also was up for Batman alongside Robert Pattinson. And then he comes up second and wins the silver for that. I think he made the right decision, Matt Reeves. Thank you very much, Pattinson. I love the idea of him being Lex Luthor. Don't love him Superman. Any other thoughts here? At least, I guess we start with Superman here in the list that was given.
Right when I saw this list, it's the Patrick Star meme of the eyes underneath the rock. Who are you people? Like, who is? Oh, like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm fine if we go this route, but I don't want to see social media hyping up these people because they don't know who they are either.
All right? They know David Cornsweet because film nerds know Pearl.
Yeah, one movie, okay, and we all know the true star. Like, come on, like, be a goth. Let's be a goth. All right. If you want to make an argument for X and like multiple different people, Jenna Ortega's in that a little bit, a couple other like good performances that Kid Cudi. But come on, like Tom Brittney, don't know. Andrew Richardson didn't recognize a single thing on his IMDb. Like, I'm just like, all right, if I'm fine if they go this route. I have faith in James Gunn, particularly with picking talent. Great background in that in itself, picking not necessarily the stars, but like a Michael Rooker, just right for the role. So I have faith. It's just like when this news came out and people are like, yes, it's just like, don't lie to me,
Ricky. I know there's so much content out there nowadays that like it's easy to get lost in some of these artists. Cornsweet, I mean, did you watch We Own This City?
No. So okay.
That's a pretty big project, Ricky.
It's decent. It's Max, not HBO.
And he just got cast in Twisters, which is a highly anticipated sequel. It also makes
I did see that. I think like he is the leader in the clubhouse, and he would be a logical career trajectory. Like, he looks like he's ready for that next step, which would be a superhero. But a Superman, that seems like a huge step. Similar to what we were talking about with May Kalamai and earlier.
We might have to say Macy from now on.
It just seems like it's just a monstrous step for him, but he would be my favorite name out of the pick. Yes, now this is a name where I like, but definitely in your fan club, Nicholas Hoult. Definitely, I like him. I just don't see him as Superman whatsoever. Mm-hmm. I see him as a Clark Kent. I think he would be a great
Like
Clark
him as
Kent.
Beast, right? Like that kind of made
Yes, he
sense.
would
Like
be
X-Men.
awesome. But as Superman, don't see it whatsoever.
You could see him as
Um,
Pattinson, like more slender type of build. Like he was like more built for that role than he was like a Superman that has to be a little bit on the thicker side. You know, you could build someone up, but it can also look almost unnatural at times.
right, right. Um, so yeah, that's like kind of like my thoughts around Superman. And to be honest, around Lois Lane isn't that much different. Like, yes, I know Emma Mackey, of course. I feel like the whole world knows her by now. And Rachel
I feel
Bros.
bad. I feel bad for Emma Mackey because
Uh,
she's always
why?
referred to as the fake Margot Robbie. I like her like having this role, but like people are just gonna say that so much when she gets cast, like if she gets cast. And I feel like she was like she's cast in Barbie, like she's also a young up and comer, but I feel like she's being unfairly touted. And like James Gunn loves directing Harley Quinn, who played Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie, is he picking Emma Mackey because she reminds him of Margot Robbie?
Definitely not that, in my opinion, because again, Margot Robbie in original Suicide Squad. So definitely, I understand that, but I I would I'm not I wouldn't hate that, but yes, you can't deny that they look similar. Like they do, their faces look similar.
Mhm.
The Rachel Brosnahan pick would also be interesting because that would be like more like I don't know. I feel like that would be pretty good. She's Rachel in House of Cards is how I think of her. Um, I just like I think right. I think that's right. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. I think she's also in Knives Out. She's the girl uh, in Knives Out in the family. I think, um, but I think she would be pretty good. But again, that feels like a little too big of a step. I'd rather see it Emma Mackey. Even though Emma Mackey limited experience, is still bigger things and more prominent roles versus a Rachel Brosnahan. So yeah, I just very odd list of actors here, but I trust James Gunn. So
What makes this interesting, like all these names, relatively unknown but young, talented performers, that like maybe if these actors were around in like 2013, and you have people like Samara Weaving, who was in Ready or Not, that would have been a
she
bigger
might be my
movie.
favorite pick out of this.
That would have been a bigger movie, let's say in 2010, more people know it, recognizable name, and therefore like people are more comfortable like seeing her in this type of role in a large blockbuster type of movie. But this is something we've talked about. There are very few young bankable stars, and let alone ones that would be available for a Superman. Like the one name that came to a lot of people at this time, it was even in the report for Superman Legacy, was Jacob Elordi, and he never submitted for the role. And it seemed like, oh, but
Shocking.
he's almost at a point where he's like, he is Nate Jacobs. It's hard to imagine him as anyone else. And he has
Well, it's
like,
about to be Elvis.
yes, but like, I don't even think people can get past that because Austin Butler was Elvis, you know? I
Yeah,
just like, it's just like, it's hard for him to like become someone else with the magnitude and the fame that he's gotten as Nate Jacobs. You know, that's
I
kind of
think
nuts.
I do think
But it's
though.
just
I
like,
think he would get past that.
right. And I don't mean to make this about Jacob Elordi. I'm just saying, like, these people are saying, oh, they're going to cast someone that is less known, right? A younger generation actor. But it's just the fact of the matter is, like, we don't know many that aren't already in superhero projects. Plain and simple,
Yeah. Yeah, because
you know?
again, like this is like the 21st century's been dominated by superhero projects. And if you're a young and up and coming actor and you're not in a superhero projects, it's like, what are you doing? Because that's how you're gonna get the most eyeballs on you.
And
So
I like in Nicholas Holt, I'm telling you, like he would be an amazing choice for Lex Luthor. Amazing choice. Like he can be intimidating despite being the slender build that he is. That's why like something about his look. He can be like good, he can be evil. And he's 32 years old. If he had Corn Sweat as Superman, that's 29, 32. There's so many times where we've seen Lex Luthor and Superman just have such a wide age gap. I think it'd be cool if they rose up together and you can have them both in this universe for quite a long time. I love that concept. So I'm all in on that. Like when you think of like Brandon Routh, Kevin Spacey, right, with Superman Returns, Gene Hackman, Christopher Reeve. Like there's this huge age gap. Jesse Eisenberg was a little bit different, and that whole approach of the character was different because it wasn't even. It was
right.
like Lex Luthor's son. It was that he like Zack Snyder. I got so like, the more I think about what he did with DC, the less I like. And like when you hear those remnants of like stories he had of what he planned on doing with the universe, I think it was almost a blessing in disguise we never got the Snyderverse. like to
Don't
the
let the
extent that
Restore
we
the
thought.
Snyderverse fans hear that.
Right, but like when he's making stories about like Superman, like after he's dead, Batman have a relationship with Lois Lane, having a kid, all this type of stuff, him growing up to be Batman, like you're messing with the lore too much, way too much. You know, I like James Gunn. I trust more with the actual characters in this universe. But yeah, any other comments you got on this potential castings here?
No, I think just like to kind of push back a little bit on the Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor, I think he would be good as well. I just think we would just have back to back Lex Luthors in their young 30s. And yes, it would be like back to the old typical approach, probably sharp dressed. A much I like the Jesse Eisenberg experiment is just such a miss.
He
Like
just
right
wasn't
after the Social
intimidating
Network.
whatsoever.
Yeah, I think Nicholas Holt would provide that, and it would be a good matchup with a Superman. But I think like with Lex Luthor, I just the animated series, him just being like, because we've seen this type of Lex Luthor like with Kevin Spacey, Jane Hackman, where like they're not big guys, they're not physically imposing. You know, I kind of want to like change it up, but not go to the extremes of a nerdy scientist weirdo cringe like Jesse Eisenberg, but like back to the let's get a bigger guy. You know what I mean? And like the age gap to me, I see your point, but then again, like Superman is he's a super being of a superhero, you know? He's literally indestructible and like no like he is so like steroid like he's on steroids in superheroes, you know? He's so indestructible that you can't defeat him. So you have to have some way. And that's why like an older presence, older, smarter, more experienced foe
Yeah,
always
I
made
see that.
sense to go against a Superman. So that doesn't bother me as much.
Someone's like the younger age versus the older age,
Right,
and
because
like
that's how
it's
you
just
kind of
new
like balance it
mindsets.
out. Because Superman's gonna win every single time.
How they view America could be different. Like it's just
Yeah.
different generations. I see what you're saying there, but the way I was seeing it is more of like universe wise, where it's like, hey, he's gonna be in Superman Legacy. He might be in future Superman movies, but he also could be like have a prominent role in like Justice League movies down the line, right? Or team up movies. And like when you see him like potentially going into like one of those kryptonite suits that you see in the comic books, like you can see him doing it because he's a little bit younger. It's not about him
Mhm.
like actually like being like he shouldn't be jacked. You know, it's Lex Luthor. It's more about his brains and like his capitalistic type of mind than it is like him being able to actually have hand to hand combat, right? So yeah, I think it could work. We'll see.